Welcome, everyone. We were like a couple minutes late, but however, welcome. I am Dolores, the poet 8551 on YouTube. It is such a good feeling to be on here again to continue reading Unstoppable by Dr. Cindy Trimm. We are truly getting some insight on how to go forward into the things of God, how to fulfill purpose, our identity. It is such a good feeling to uncover and discover these awesome and powerful insights and enlightenments that she has shared in her book. We're going to continue today, but before we continue, I just want to say we were challenged in chapter 2 in our last session in chapter 2 to write down 5 I am statements. Okay, so since we were challenged, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to give you my 5 I am statements. We were challenged to write them down. Okay, I wrote down I am strong, I am empowering, I am loved, I am smart, and I am powerful, says the Lord. Amen. So we are truly happy. That challenge was good because you have to go within yourself, as she's told us in the book, go within yourself and dig deep and get those I am statements out of there. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go right into the book and begin reading. We stopped on page 44 and we will continue on the second paragraph. Okay, let me take my glasses off. I'm sorry. Sometime I need to do that. To God be the glory. Okay, it says, my mother quipped in broken record fashion. Cindy, it's the little things that count: integrity, wholeness of character, with no area tainted by the compromising of core values. Okay. Does not, she says, okay, wait. Okay, does not come from and is not proven by possessions or once in a lifetime experiences. You cannot take shortcuts in life and arrive at integrity. It comes from knowing and simply being true to who you are when no one is watching. Okay? It is comprised of those core values and characteristics that are forged in the cubicle of challenging, difficult, and disappointing life experiences. It is not only about the lessons you learn, but, page number 45, who you become once you emerge from them. This is what makes you wonderful, what makes you a wonderful expression of truth and a force to be reckoned with. Here's the truth. If you look to something outside yourself to complete you, you will live in continual risk of incompleteness. That which is outside of you can be stolen or damaged. Wow. She said marriages fall apart, people pass away, markets fail, new and improved technologies come along and make your expensive toys and tools obsolete. Wow, that's true. Putting you back into a state of lack. Your experiences, no matter how hard or difficult, are mirrors that reflect who you really are at your core. Growing up, a teacher shared this poem with me by an unknown author, and it reads like this: I asked for strength and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to solve. I asked for prosperity, and God gave me brawn and brain to work. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for patience, and God placed me in situations where I was forced to wait. I asked for love, and God gave me trouble, people to help. I asked for favors, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing I wanted. I received everything I needed. My prayer has been answered. Wow, that's good. Helen Keller beautifully sums up the crux of this poem with one statement: character cannot be developed in case and in ease and quiet. Only through experiences of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened. Wow. Vision cleared, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Problems are like GPS that slow us where we are. That show us where we are and how we have been living relative to where we want to be and how we envision living at some distant point in the future. This process helps us to better focus on identifying our core values and to move forward with greater fidelity. Character building starts in the cradle, page number 46, ends in the grave. Oscar Wilde once said, every little action of wait a minute, I'm sorry. Every little action of the common day makes or unmakes character. And therefore, what one has done in the secret chamber, one has someday to cry aloud from the housetop. Those character building moments morph into capacity, into capacity building moments that make you the person you are. The key to you becoming unstoppable, she says, is to keep growing, to keep challenging yourself, to dig deeper within your mental, emotional, and spiritual endeavors for whatever you need to face the challenges before you. You will not fully know what you are made of until opportunity comes and you hoist and the sails of your values and principles and navigate through opposing forces. Only then will you arrive at your own happy haven of true peace, success, and prosperity. Character and integrity are about wholeness. Wholeness gives you a sense of enoughness, she says. That state of being complete, like whole. Okay. Now, does being complete mean that you're finished growing? Of course not. We all have continual opportunities for growth. Remember, growth is the fruit of your success. Wow, that is so true. Tying apples to a tree doesn't make the tree productive or fruitful, she says. Only the tree that produces its own fruit is seen as healthy and successful. Wow. In the same way, you will never experience completeness by acquiring material possessions and or developing even the best relationships. Your success comes from within. Your fruit is made visible when you live with integrity and express your authentic self by sharing your virtues, values, beliefs, and abilities. Wow. You are ready, already complete. She says, you are already complete. And that's the truth. Now, you must make the choice to both own and live that truth. I'm making that choice today that I am complete. I don't know about you, but I am making that choice today that everything that I need to succeed is on the inside of me. Okay? Now, undivided, standing strong. Okay. Abraham Lincoln quoted from my favorite book when he shared the truth that a house divided against itself cannot stand. When two entities stand in strong opposition to one another, it is challenging, page 47, and very often impossible to exist harmoniously in the same space. One keeps pushing against the other until the structure collapses in a heap, broken and burned by an ensuing explosion of emotions. Wow. The same is true for your life. When you say one thing but do another, you lack integrity. The same is true for your life. When you say one thing but do another, you lack integrity. Hey guys, this is not my words. These are words that I'm reading out of the book. So I don't want you to get offended. I want you to actually grasp what she's saying in the book. I'm going to read that part one more time so we all can get it deep within ourselves and grasp the and discover all the different secrets that's in here that I promise you when applying you will be helped, you will be pushed, you will be propelled forward to complete your purpose. Okay. She says, one keeps pushing against the other until the structure collapses in a heap, broken and burned by an ensuing explosion of emotions. The same is true for your life. When you say one thing but do another, you lack integrity. Integrity is not about untruths told to others, but it is lies you tell yourself about yourself. We all know how this looks in a public forum. It's the political leader who makes promises on the campaign trail but fails to deliver once they are in office, or a corporate executive who guarantees success even though she knows the product or service is flawed. Wow. But what about the personal promises you make to yourself? Perhaps promises no one knows about. What about all the goals you've set and excuses you've made for not reaching them? Have you sworn off sugar only to continually indulge in sweet treats and sugary drinks? Or promised yourself you'd be in bed by 10 p.m.? That's me. Only to stay up surfing the net or binge watching your favorite show. What about the promise you made to walk 10,000 steps a day, but never averaging more than 2,000 because you are so busy, she says. I can hear you now explaining, oh no, not me. You may very well be the type of person who would never lie or cheat others. But I wonder, if you are committing those offenses against yourself. For an example, do you honestly believe that exercise and healthy eating habits are essential to your physical well being, but you consistently overindulge at the dinner table and never make it to the gym? Do you claim that your children and spouse are the most important people in your life, but you spend more time with your coworkers and clients than with your family? Page number 38. Wow. Do you value financial independence but continue to use credit cards and accumulate debt? Me? Okay. Do you deep down have a desire to do something great but hold back because you wonder what others think? If your values are at odds with your actions, your house, your sense of self is divided and at risk of collapsing, she says. Living an interrogated, authentic life is a choice that must be acted upon daily. In this book, Today Matters, John Maxwell wrote, successful people make the right decisions early and then manage those decisions daily. If you want to win, you must first decide what's important to you and then commit to putting those priorities first. Then every day you must choose to be intentional about staying true to your decisions so that your values match your actions. That's how you live undivided. That is good. Decide who you are, what you value, and then, as Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true. What does that look like in real life? If you value your health, take care of it daily by making smart food choices and exercising regularly. If you value your spouse and children, make them a priority on your schedule. If you tell your child you will be at his or her school performance, be there, she says. Wow. If you promise your spouse you will spend time together on the weekend, don't bring work home with you on Friday afternoon. If you value financial independence, learn how to live without your means and save a portion of your earnings each month. Better yet, find ways to create additional income. I'm taking mental notes in my head. I just want you guys to know that. And I hope you are as well. If you value your dreams, refuse to let others' opinions, doubts, fears, or failures stop you from pursuing them. Is it easy? No, she says. Is it worth it? Well, let's see. People who live in authentic lives tend to spend money on things they don't need or want simply because they desire to impress others. Waste precious time doing things they don't like because they feel compelled to. You guessed it, live up to other people's expectations, which means nothing at all. Wow. Deny their dreams and purpose so they can, what she says, fit in. On the other hand, those who live authentic lives invest their time with the people most dear to them. They use their value resources to work on goals that are important to them. Most importantly, she says, when they look back on the sum of their lives, they are at peace, knowing they wouldn't change a single thing. Does that sound worth it to you? That's a good question, and it does. Okay. Stand up, stand out. Some challenge Sometimes the challenge of living authentically isn't a question of knowing what you want. It's a fear that if people knew who and how you really are, they wouldn't like or accept you. Psychologists call this imposter syndrome. So we soften the edges, tone it down, pull it back. We don't embrace all that we are or could be because people might think we're weird, too intense, too passionate, or too out there. We either fall into the trap of feeling like we're faking it or the habit of dumbing ourselves down so as not to make waves. Let's look at what living a less than authentic life has gotten us so far. A world of minimal differentiations. Walk through any mega store in the United States and you'll see all sorts of choices, page number 50, products that are basically the same. Suburban neighborhoods are lined with houses that all look alike. Same, same, same. Sounds pretty boring, doesn't it? In chapter 9, we will take a look at what differentiation means to your personal brand, the way people see and remember you. But for now, it's enough to know that blending in neither makes you memorable. That's so good. A life of mediocrity. When you settle for an inauthentic life, you end up giving less than your best. After all, why would you bother to push yourself when when all you have to do is meet the world's minimal standards? But let me tell you, living a mediocre, saying it wrong now, mediocre life doesn't serve anyone, less of all you. In fact, living below your potential will cause stress and dissatisfaction. Wow. And it can lead to feelings of emptiness and depression. I know you want better than that for your life because you're committed to reading this book. Thank you guys so much for reading with me. Wow. The need to belong is pervasive. It's almost every culture worldwide. And yet, those who stand up and stand out are known as heroes, the role models, and the success stories. In what areas of your life are you simply maintaining the status quo? Wow. What would happen if you decided to give that area of your life your very best effort? I wonder what would happen. That's putting that best foot forward, right? With the things that you don't think you can do, just begin doing them. Okay? How would maximizing your potential change your life? After the trajectory of your career benefit your relationships, improve your health, and increase your happiness. Are you living, she says, authentically? What does it mean to live authentically or to live an authentic life? Does it mean chucking all societal norms for the sake of being different, or disparaging anything that hits of conformity, or completely rejecting your culture. I suppose it can and does mean all those to some people. In truth, however, your environment and culture have helped you become the person you are today. In some ways, those external forces have probably helped you better define who you want to be going forward. We are not products of nature or nurture, but of both. Each person has an individual soul and a core set of values that are unique to them. And at the same time, no person can totally separate him or herself from their surroundings and upbringing. One's life experiences can and should serve as lessons and resources from which the future can be shaped, if not envisioned. Page 51. So I'm going to encourage you to take the best from your culture, your childhood, your career, and your relationships, she says, indeed, from all your experiences, and use that information to guide you as you define what your authentic life should look like. Before we go any further, let's take a closer look at the word authentic. The online etymology dictionary offers this description: authoritative, from Old French antique, authentic, canonical, and directly from Merrill Latin authenticus, from Greek authentikos, original, genuine, principle, from authentes, one acting on one's own authority, from autos, self, hentis, doer, being from pi, sense, to accomplish, achieve, sense of entitled, to acceptance as factual, is first recorded in mid 14C. Merriam Webster adds the following to the definition of authenticity: genuine or real, not copied or false, true and accurate, true to one's own personality, conscience, or character. Page 52. Get to the core. In 1948, psychologist Bertram R. Forer gave a personality test to a group of students and then presented them with what was reported to be detailed evaluation of their personalities based on their results. The students were asked to rate the accuracy of the description on the scale of 0 to 5, 0 equal very poor, and 5 is excellent. The students gave an average accuracy rating of an impressive 4.26. Here is the description every student received. You have a strong need for other people to like you and for them to admire you. You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. You have a great deal of unused energy, which you have not turned to your advantage. While you have some personality weakness, you are generally able to compensate for them. Disciplined and controlled on the outside, you tend to be worrisome and insecure on the inside. Wow. At times, you have serious doubts as to whether you have made the right decisions or done the right thing. You prefer to certain you prefer a certain amount of change and variety and become dissatisfied when hemmed in by restrictions and limitations. You pride yourself on being an independent thinker and do not accept other opinions without satisfactory proof. You have found it unwise to be frank in revealing yourself to others. At times, you are extroverted, affable, and sociable, while at other times, you are introverted, wary, and reserved. Some of your aspirations tend to be unrealistic. Wow, that is so big. Wow. The lesson is clear. Just because what people say about you seems accurate, valid, and applicable to your life and personality does not mean it is. Spend time investigating your own unique genius. I encourage you, she says, to take a deep dive and be careful of sweeping. Page number 53. Generalizations that probably apply to almost everybody. When you are living authentically, you are acting on your own authority in a manner that is true to your own personality, spirit, or character. Knowing who you are is an essential step toward living a genuine and abundant life. Knowing what you value is also critically important. Success magazine publisher Darren Hardy explains in his book, The Compound Effect, that clearly identifying your core values, the aspects of life that drive your thoughts, beliefs, and ultimately your behavior is what makes it possible to live an authentic life. Your core values are your internal compass, your guiding beacon, your personal GPS. They act as the filter through which you run all of life's demands, requests, and temptations, making sure they're leading you towards your intended destination. Getting your core values defined and properly calibrated is one of the most important steps in redirecting your life towards your grandest vision. Get a little bit more time here. Define your core values, redefine success. So, what she's saying is if we define our core values, we will redefine success for each of our lives. Okay. When life is extremely busy or stressful, it's easy for our priorities to get out of whack. As Stephen Curry described in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, we focus on the urgent rather than the importance because, let's face it, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. When those important things, our core values and true priorities, go neglected for too long, life crashes on us. That's what happens to Ariana Huffington in 2007 when she abruptly came to the realization that despite all appearances, she wasn't living a truly successful life. Wow. On the morning of April 6, 2007, I was lying on the floor on my home, office, in a pool of blood, On my way down, my head hit the corner of my desk, cutting my eye and breaking my cheekbone. Page number 54. She writes in her book, Thrive, long hours and sheer exhaustion had taken its toll on Huffington. She'd been named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people, and her 2-year-old blog, The Huffington Post, was well on its way to becoming one of the most widely read and referenced online news site. But after my fall, I had to ask myself, was this what success looks like? Was this the life I wanted? 18 hours, high stress days yielded impressive money and power. But at what cost, she says. Huffington began a process of identifying what she really valued. Using that self knowledge, she redefined success. She'd experienced the fame and fortune and discovered that those highly controverted rewards weren't enough to sustain a healthy and truly meaningful life. Her fall sparked a turning point that led her to create what she calls the third metric, a more comprehensive way to measure success than relying solely on the markers of money and power. This third metric gives equal weight to intangible yet incredibly important and often undervalued aspects of success: well-being, physical and mental health, wonder, taking delight in the world, wisdom, learning and growing, and giving, sharing one's life with others. These four elements have become integral, integral to the way she measures success. When those priorities take center stage in her life, she knows she is winning. Wow, that is really, really big. We are just truly excited. We're going to read just a little bit more and then we're going to end our session for today. But we just want to really take a listen to this because she was so determined in her mind. Cindy Trimm is telling her that Huffington was so engulfed in money and that power and that status that it almost ruined her. Okay, she's falling out like that. That brought a light to some things for her. Okay, let's continue reading. Your values can and should act as both a compass to direct your path as well as a standard against which to measure your progress. They are not a luxury, they are a necessity for an integrated, authentic life. You've heard the phrase, if you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything. Defining your core values helps decide what you will allow in your life, what you will stand for and against. Your values play a vital role in your personal success, and as Richard Barrett states in his book, The Values Driven Organization, 2013, they are equally essential for your professional success. If you want to succeed in business in the era we are now entering, page number 55, values must be evidenced in every decision you make and every action you take. Barrett writes, furthermore, your behaviors must align with your values. You must be seen to be walking the talk and operating with integrity. Walking the talk, that is the difference between authentically and false fronts, between an integrated life and one that's fractured and compartmentalized. Your core value can only empower you if you live them day in and day out. This is what living your truth is all about. I am truly grateful that you guys decided to join me today. We left off on page number 55. We're going to end this session. However, we will soon be back. We will post it to let you guys know. I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me. Okay. So you'll get the notifications. Turn your notifications on so you'll get notified when I'm going to go on and to continue reading. But we stopped on page 55, and we just want to really dig deep within ourselves to understand our true core values. Thank you so much for being with me today for this session 4 of Read With Me. I appreciate you, and until next time, you dig deep within yourself. Make sure you write out those 5 I am statements, and also dig deep within yourself of your core to find your core values, not when someone says about you, who you are to your core. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a beautiful evening.